Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome to this update video, update number 9 for Planet Coaster 2. So there's a free update coming to us on the 30th of April, just under the wire for the April release, and the big news is arcades. I actually think these have been really well implemented. There is a couple of issues that we'll talk about later, but to start off with, let's just explain what we're getting here. There's a new tab along the bottom where you would click rides, coasters, stores, that kind of thing. There's now an entertainment tab, and within that, for now, you'll find the arcade games. There are 14 new machines and a prize counter for your guests to enjoy. These are similar to both restaurants and gift shops in that it's all sort of modularly placed, and then there's a hub with a member of staff that works in them, and they can go there to redeem tickets for prizes. Some of the games, are just there for fun, or maybe like an instant win game, like a claw grabber. But some of them are going to redeem tickets, if depending on how well they do, and then they take those tickets over to the counter and cash them in for prizes. So the arcade's cabinets include just a regular video game cabinet. It's like a little spaceship going through a city skyline, and it's very plain. And that's the only one of those, really, which is one of the points that I'll be talking about later. But then there are 3 other arcade cabinets that are actually all licensed from Atari. There is a Pong, an Asteroids, and a Centipede. That's all very surprising, and I really like that. There is a slight issue with the licensed stuff, that it may well not be around forever if we look back at Ghostbusters, but if you already have it, I think it's fine. So maybe they've just come up with a deal that makes these stick around forever. Then we also have a new claw machine. I say a new claw machine because the claw machine and the fortune teller machine are returning from Planet Coaster 1. So that's the one with the Zoltan with the big head, and also the claw machine with King Coasters in them. They're both returning. They do look upscaled. They don't look as jaggedy as some of the Planet Coaster 1 scenery that's made its way across into Planet Coaster 2. It might just be that they came later, so the fidelity is a lot higher on them compared to something like the pirate scenery. But yeah, they're returning. But then there's a new claw machine that just has like balls with tickets in them. I often see those where it's like a ring that they can pick up with tickets around them, but it's like a ball that they can pick up. There is a feat of strength, a hammer game, which is very fun. There's one called alley oop, which is like a basketball throw. Token tumble, that's the penny pusher, where you put the penny in and they fall down onto moving platforms. Yeet ball, which is skee ball, basically. Paddle battle is air hockey, I think. This is all just from looking at the images around the video here. Pop-up panic is like a whack-a-mole with king candies that pop up. Hoop throw is like a ring toss over these sort of neon sticks. And then the counter itself where you can turn these in. So as you can expect, some of those redeem tickets, some of those are just for fun, some of them you get the prize instantly out of them. And yeah, I actually think it's a really good mix. I'm very surprised to see licensed stuff. I'm very surprised to see so much physical stuff as well. I'll be honest with you, going into this, I did kind of think we would just get sort of like half a dozen arcade cabinets, because all of the preview images they showed us were just that one sort of cabinet with the joystick and the 3 buttons. I'm really glad to see so much of the physical stuff. I think it looks great. I think there's a lot of movement to it. The guests all seem to interact with it all really well. So I'm really excited for that. A couple of things that I don't love about the arcade update. The one is that there is just that single video game cabinet. Now I assume that some of it's going to be recolorable or what have you, but even still, I would like to have seen maybe like 3 or 4 different types of those, and other, you got to think about how many different types of arcade cabinets there are as well, not just the sort of joystick and buttons. There's ones with like multiplayer, even going up to some of those classic ones like The Simpsons, where you squeeze 4 people along the front of it. But then there's things like the Buck Hunter, shooting games, Time Crisis, House of the Dead, all that kind of stuff. Racing games as well. So there was definitely much more scope they could have gone with for the video game cabinets. But if I had to choose between the two, between like more video game cabinets and more sort of physical test your luck games, I will take the test your luck games. I do think they're much more usable in theme parks. I think they could maybe even be used to sort of like fake some midway as well. We'll see. So overall, I think it's a pretty good addition. They do look like well implemented here in this video. but I think they could have padded out the just the bare game roster. The other thing is as well, looking at all of these shots, the prize counter, it just seems just like a regular counter that you can decorate yourself, which again I'm always happy about. I don't need a huge box that I'm kind of stuck with working there, so I'm happy for it to be a small counter. But they've kind of faked prize walls behind the counters here, like we did similar to when we made our own arcades using the gift shop stuff. And looking at it, it's all stuff we already have from the gift shop. It's those 3 plushies, the keyring box, the board game box, or the puzzle box, whatever it is, and some hats. And I was really hoping we would get more scenery items here for use as both gift shops and arcade prize walls. I really feel like every theme should have a plushie and a t-shirt and a hat. I really think it's a miss, and obviously I'm not a game developer. I don't understand the timelines of this kind of stuff. But I really think that's a miss there. I think it unfortunately it comes off a little half-assed. I really do think each of these themes should be sort of filled out with more plushies, more t-shirts, more things that we could use in gift shops and arcades. Frontier, if you're watching, please just give a scenery designer a week or two to just work on some of that sort of stuff. We would all love you for it, I'm sure. The next big addition is a beam track variants for a pile of coasters. I know this is going to mean stuff to people who are into this kind of thing, and if I ever actually end up building a coaster in Planet Coaster, this will matter to me, I'm sure. But all the B&M stuff, or the Valet and Nidwalden, or whatever they call it, there's all now a thicker beam variation for most of their coasters. There's tri-tube and bi-tube track variations for 2 of the Intamin coasters. And the Wing coaster has now got additional launch variants as well. This is great for the people who know the difference between all this sort of stuff. It's awesome, and I'm very happy that this all happens. I don't really know what it means. I don't know how desperate people have been for this sort of stuff. It's not my area, but I'm glad it's there anyway. There's also a pile of new blueprints for all of the flat rides, just kind of filling out where there were gaps before. Again, this isn't something I particularly use myself, but I'm sure there are people who are happy about this. I know there's a lot of people who do play these games just sort of placing stuff down and and like filling in the gaps. I pretty much do everything custom. The only real blueprints I use are like little sort of incidental stuff, behind the scenes stuff, trash cans, that kind of thing. As far as the rides go, I'm pretty much always going to theme them myself, but happy to see a load of stuff here: aquatic theme, mythology theme, Planet Coaster theme stuff. There's some sorcery themes if you have the sorcery pack. There's some toy box themed blueprints if you have the toy box pack. So loads of new blueprints for rides there. A couple of other changes for rides then, which are really quite awesome. Anything that has a light on it now, so any of the coasters that have headlights, any of the flat rides that have a light, the track rides that have a light at the front of them, that light can now be toggled on or off or set to night only. Great addition, very happy to see that. Track triggers, if you place down any triggers on the track that make animations happen, can now be applied to specific trains as well, which I can't really think of a use for off the top of my head, but it's always nice to have options. Other noticeable quality of life updates include lots more guest thoughts regarding various elements of the game, dryness and temperature. They've improved some of the heat maps and how they are contrasted to better distinguish between path and buildings. They made the highlight easy to see when painting staff zones. A small pool heater has been added for shallow pools, and the blue swirly path now has a second colour picker option. So that's that path that we saw being placed down in the arcades with the swirls on, but there was clearly 2 separate colours there. It's just the blue swirly path we already had has been updated so that you can have that second colour there, and you can get those nice garish 90s carpet style views with the arcade. There's also quite a big change to career mode, how medals are earned and how many medals are needed to progress in the story. I'm not really going to go into these because honestly I don't know what most of it means. I've not played the career mode. I'm not really a career mode player. But it seems to be that the medals needed to unlock the next chapter have been reduced, but the way you earn them have all sort of shifted positively and negatively. I'm assuming this is based on feedback from players. So yeah, cool to see. that just means nothing to me, unfortunately. There's also another pile of bug fixes for various issues in the game. You'll be able to see that. I'll put a link to it in the description. A few ones of note for me as a builder, and probably for people who watch me. The pirate theme and fairy tale theme walls that weren't merging corners has now been fixed. Also, castle wall textures have been adjusted to have better alignment. I'm very excited to see what that looks like, because at the moment they don't line up very nicely, and you get real clear repeating edges. Resolved an issue where several sandstone wall pieces were different colours. That's great. That's a fix to those darker sandstone pirate pieces. Happy to see that. Adjusted alignment of stucco wall pieces. Removed unused colour slots from stucco wall assets. That's great to see all that pirate stuff get a bit of a fix there. Pirate flag hitbox sizes, a very specific one that really bothered me when I was trying to put a flag up in the fish and chip store in Fairview Lake. It's ridiculous how difficult they are to click, so that's great to see fixed. Rough concrete assets that were missing colour picker now have it as well. Shop lighting will be less bright at night. These are all great little fixes. Happy to see them. And like I say, lots of other bits and bobs as well that are either something you've never noticed or something that's been infuriating you depending on how you play the game. Again, you can go back and see all of those. So overall, a solid update that's perhaps not as impactful as it maybe needed to be, considering the amount of time we've waited for it. I think arcades are a great addition, and for the most part have been very well implemented, and increasing the amount of customization you can do on rides is always going to be a positive. And whilst I'll take any content and quality of life fixes that Frontier are willing to give us for free, I can understand that some players may feel that this update is a little light. But to end on a positive, as always, these update videos usually come with a little spoiler towards the end of them for the next big content update. This time it's going to be a DLC that we receive in June, and looking at this, we see a lot of backstage stuff. We see a lot of scenery that has a bit of a sort of Victoriana vibe to it, including lots of wrought iron and signs with lights around them. We see a lot of pieces that seem to be for costumes, including big gloves and big eyeballs. And we see the back of what I assume to be a new entertainer who has a bit of a ringmaster, sort of MC kind of vibe. And if you head over to the Planco dictionary, you can translate the words at the top of this timetable to give you a pretty good idea of what's coming next. I think it's a great addition that really will live or die on how well they've implemented it, so we'll have to wait and see. As always, any slither of news we get will be covered here on the channel, so keep it here with a subscribe if you're not already. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next one, be good.